Well, hello garden lovers, I've got a real treat for you today because I'm with... Oh, hello James.
Good morning.
I'm with James Alexander Sinclair. You can
Hello, garden lovers.
That's my line.
I know, I'm taking it from you.
I don't mind.
I can do it in a sexier way. Hi, garden lovers.
You don't know my audience very well, do you? Obviously. Right, we don't have a selfie stick. We don't have microphones. But I'm at James's wonderful garden here, Green Rise.
Green Rise in Oxfordshire.
In Oxfordshire, and I'm here with my wife for the weekend, and the ladies are off chatting, and we're gonna have a little wander around the garden. So yeah, this is your
Where
view.
are we gonna go?
Well, this is a view from your office
This
behind
is
us.
from my office. So this is the sort of first bit that you arrive at, and this is my little sort of gravel garden thing, which we just recently re-gravelled actually. And so it starts. This used to be a water butt somewhere, and then we made it into a sort of pond with a water lily in it. And then beyond it are various things that I've picked up. There's quite a lot of iris in here, which is new, because Celestia, my wife, is getting quite mad about iris and keeps buying irises.
Right.
Where are they going to go? They go in the sunny spot. So we put them in a slightly shadier spot over there, and that was a disaster. And so they're
I
here.
thought you knew a bit about gardening.
I know, it's a disgrace. Isn't
Well,
it,
it's a
really?
big learn. It's a big learning
It's a big
curve.
learning. No, but you just try. You've got them. You've got to put them somewhere. And so I dug up a lot of stuff in here, so we get more irises in here. So
It's beautiful, though. It really is lovely. I mean, it's very, very simple, this gravel garden.
Okay.
What we want to know from James is sort of the rationale behind the garden, the design.
Oh, you want
and
the,
is it
design rationale?
Well, yeah, a sort of a little bit, because obviously, you know, you're a designer and you're doing your own garden, which is very different to having a brief. And also, you're a massive plant lover, so you just keep coming home with loads of plants, which is not necessarily the way to design a garden.
No. Do not do as I do. Do as I say.
Okay. Okay, so how did
It's the thing.
tell the story of how this garden developed?
Basically, you know, we've been here for longer than, I think it's about 8 years now, 9 years. And we came and we ripped the house apart and we put extensions on and put a kitchen in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the garden before was basically, most of that was laurels.
Yeah.
And all of this side was laurels.
Right. Okay. A Laurel.
A laurel. That was the whole laurel.
Laurel.
Whole laurel. And so, but what was nice about it when I first came here is that there was this pear tree there.
Yeah.
Over there, and there was 4 of them, and 3 of them we lost. We had that one, and we sat underneath that, and it was the first garden I'd actually owned which had trees in it.
Okay.
Because, you know, the previous place, which you can see on Three Men Went to Mow in a number of different fields.
Yes,
the
Three Men Went.
That's where we were before. Then
You had clipped yew, a lot of clipped yew
we had some
shapes
clipped yews
in the
and bits
lawn.
and pieces, but it was quite open and there were no big trees. And now we've got these birch here.
It's a beautiful setting because
got
you're
those
not overlooked from anywhere. You've got a sort of woodland backdrop, really mature trees as a backdrop, and a few mature trees
And
like
they're
the
all
birch.
somebody else's, basically, most of them, which is fine. So over there's a big tree belt that was planted about 30 years ago by one of our neighbours, and that stops the wind from coming through here, because the wind comes from over there. And so we're quite sheltered in here. And so we started taking laurels out, and then the other thing that happens is when we did the house, we generated an awful lot of rubble.
Right.
All that rubble is now underneath there.
Because from here we're just seeing a
It's
mound.
basically there's a bank and it's got rubble and soil, and then we planted that, so that sort of got rid of all of that and saved having to put it into landfill. We had our own private landfill, so we filled that.
It saves you a lot of money getting rid of it.
Yeah, it
Fortune.
did. It saved a lot of money, and it also gave us contour, which is what you need in a garden, because it's not a big garden. It's quite small.
How big is it?
It's about under half an acre.
Under half an acre.
So I mean,
Because I've got an acre and a half now.
I know you're
You know,
a grand landowner.
Yeah, exactly. With a immature. You know what I'm going to do, because I haven't got my gimbal and my selfie stick. My arm is really aching now.
Have I got to carry it
No,
for you
what I'm
now?
going to do is I'm going to watch this. What's the magic? Swap hands.
Whoa,
Oh,
it just goes
get
from
that
one
finger
side
out
to
the way of the
other.
camera.
No, that's fine. That means we can have more of you.
Oh, that's
Otherwise
better.
There we are. So we're in that. So this is our boundary with the neighbour. So it needs to be reasonably evergreen. But then we've got some quite cool things. We've got this evergreen oak here, which is not your Quercus ilex.
No, that's
It's a Quercus, and I can't remember what his name is, but it's a very beautiful tree, this one. So that'll go up and do its stuff.
But that doesn't look like an oak at all. It looks more like one of those Schefflers.
No, there is a Scheffler in here as well, but that's not. This is an oak. I wish I could remember its name.
He's going in. He's intrepid.
I'm going in.
Look at that. He's dressed for it. He always gardens in a pink shirt.
I usually go in a suit.
Yeah, a 3-piece suit is good. It's a bit warm for 3-piece.
So this is
Is that?
This is Mahonia gracilis.
Okay.
Okay, which is a really cool, nice mahonia with a sort of yellow flower in it, but it's not like your usual spiky leaf one. It's much softer and prettier and gentle. And then
And it flowers?
it has yellow flower in the winter.
Oh, it's really...
I can't see where I put the bloody label.
Come on, Jimmy. Come on. There's a lot riding on this.
Okay, somewhere on this tree, there's a posh copper label that I tied onto it about 6 years ago. And I've got no idea whether it bloody is.
Come on, Jimmy. We're counting on you. Come on, this is big.
Hello.
Good. Look at look the allium. Look, you look great with the allium and the aeromuris, the foxtail lily. No.
No, I can't find it. I'll have to look it up somewhere else.
Maybe Frank's nicked it.
Maybe one of the garden lovers can tell me what it is.
So it's an oak, and it's
an oak.
evergreen.
It's an evergreen oak.
And how big does it get? Do we know?
It gets to about 25 feet or something, I think, probably within my lifetime. It's how I think of trees now. It's how big are they going to get while I'm alive?
That's a good way to think about it. Apart from obviously you should be planting. I'm coming in, Jimmy. Let's have a look. What sort of label is it? Coppery.
It's a copper label, which is really tasteful label.
I know, but all the foliage is coppery coloured.
It's impossible to see. So I don't know what it is, but
Okay.
We'll look it up. We'll find out what it is. It's also what happens. You put the copper label on, and then as the tree grows, the copper label goes up.
That was great. Come on, out you come.
I don't know where it is.
Right.
And then this bamboo came from Great Dixter.
Right.
And I bought it from there. So this.
You didn't steal it.
I didn't steal it. I paid good money for it.
Didn't just dig it up. Didn't honestly, Fergus.
But it's.
So is this a Schefflera?
This is an osmanthus.
This is you've got
Osmanthus japonica. What needs to happen to this, which I'll do in the winter, is to cut off some of the lower branches so it becomes more like a tree.
You raise the canopy.
Raise the canopy, because then I've got this quite pretty geranium underneath it that will then spread out and do interesting stuff. And then this is a chestnut that I pinched from my mother-in-law when we moved house. She had it in a pot. She was moving house. She didn't need it. And so that's actually rather magnificent.
Really lovely, yeah. And also, it probably loved being released from its pot.
Yeah, no, it did. And that's turned into really quite cool. This was here before. This little purple elder.
The purple elder, because there's not a lot of purple foliage in this garden.
Do you know, because it's quite dark and depressing.
It is. That's why you've hidden it round. Yeah, I don't put purple foliage in anything anymore. It's just too contrasty.
Yeah, exactly.
So you haven't gone for the sort of new perennial grassy thing at all. You've got a real mixture of trees and shrubs and perennials.
There's a fair bit of grass.
There's a few grasses coming up, but it's not a sort of.
No,
it's not that style
it's not
at all.
prairie.
And you've got quite a large lawn, which is mown with the robot mower.
It's mown with Cressida.
Cressida the robot mower.
Cressida the robot mower who does it. And the lawn is something that gets smaller every year. We chip away a bit of it.
Okay, so you sort of started with the lawn, and now you got a bit of clover in there, and
yeah, no, it's just.
Do you do no mow May?
No, I don't do no mow May.
James.
No, but I'll tell you why I don't do no mow May, because I've got lots of other areas which we never mow, like this bit here.
Yeah.
In May, this is like 3 foot tall. We've just trimmed this down to get the alkanet and the nettles out of it. So that's that bank that's over there. And then there's other bits that I leave. There are lots of wild bits all along the back of here. There are wild bits. All along in here is quite wild. So there's a certain amount of that. But I don't do no mow May at the moment because...
How much work is this garden? I think Joe's Country Garden viewers want to know how much work this is. Do you have like a team of gardeners?
I have a team of gardeners. I have 12 gardeners who are here 5 days a week.
Really?
And then I have 2 over the weekend.
Okay.
No, basically what happens is Frank.
Yeah, I know.
Frank comes once a month. Frank's a
once a month.
Once a month.
For how long?
For a day.
A day, once a month.
He comes in. So all the things.
And he does all the real gardening.
He comes and does the stuff that I'm too old to do and it can't be asked.
Oh, come on.
Basically.
You're mid-60s, right?
Yeah, thank you
Looking
so much
good.
for pointing that out to everybody. I'm going to stand back a bit.
He looks great. Doesn't he look great? For his mid-60s?
Hello,
Get closer. We'll put you in soft focus. Okay, so Frank, what does that Frank actually do?
So Frank
There's no lawn mowing because Cressida does
Cressida does the lawn mowing. Frank comes and does heavy stuff, which I, like major this trimming of banks and raking that stuff off that I haven't got time for. But apart from that, it's Celestia and I at weekends. This is what I do.
Yeah, Celestia, your wife,
Yeah.
and you. So you do, because this morning I was having a bit of a lie-in.
You were.
And you were up very early with Celestia in your gardening in your pink shirt.
Yeah, no, we were pootling around, which is it's what we spend most of our weekends doing, is pootling around.
And Celestia's a very keen gardener as well.
Celestia's exceptionally good, and she does all the vegetables and stuff, which we can go and look at.
Yeah, and the greenhouse.
And the greenhouse. So this is a plant that I had in my last garden, and I really like it. It's called Datisca cannabina, because it has a leaf slightly like a cannabis leaf.
Can you smoke it?
You can't smoke it, apparently.
Give you a headache.
And so that's quite fun, and it's
lovely.
It's herbaceous. It's 9 foot.
That's in one, yeah. So that's towering over our heads.
And then there's this rather fabulous rose in here, which is a Chinese rose that I like. That's very pink, and then it goes, and you can see the way that climbs and goes right up. So right at the top, is a Paulonia. Paulonia grows unbelievably quickly. That's I don't know how many. That's 20 foot high or something. That's done in a couple of years. And this one here was cut down last year. And it was that high as well, and that's bounced up again.
Yeah.
And then there's a hebe, and then there's euphorbia, and then there's some crocosmia, that red bit that's just popping out there. And
it's really great,
the red
actually.
And the pink. It's quite fun, the red and the pink. And you think, why the hell not?
Yeah, and the crocosmia just battle it out in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the euphorbia and the crocosmia. Well, yeah, it's great.
It's quite pingy. And so this is the rubble pile.
Yeah, that's the rubble pile.
Is all of this. So then we put another rubble pile on here. And so the trees, so it's planting, and so that's neighbour, and then we come around here, and then this is my sort of
surprise.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise, but I know what it is because I've already been there, so it's not a surprise for me. But it's a surprise. Hang on. It's a surprise for the garden lovers watching.
Garden lovers.
Okay, go on. You lead the way then.
In that we come wandering along.
Whistling
casually, and we're looking over there, and then suddenly we look the other way, and you go, surprise! And look, there's a thrush.
Oh, look here.
So this is a pond, obviously. But,
it's really looking good. I haven't been here for a year or so. It's looking fabulous.
And then these rocks.
Oh, James, be careful.
We like a bit of jeopardy.
Yeah, you do.
So these rocks came out of our friend Cleve West garden at Chelsea a few years ago. And so they've been recycled to here. So we have this, and it's basically the rubble that goes around here, and we had this emptiness, and I thought it's a place to put a pond. So we've got these rocks, so we can come and sit on them. We're going to do it in a minute.
Because there's another way in. You don't have to jump a good 7 foot across. Come on, you can. Swan dive. I thought you were going to go across the other way. It's really looking fabulous though. The lilies are doing well. You've got great coverage. It's lovely clear water. You've got a bit of movement with the pump at the back there. Just a lovely little ripple. Brings in a lot of wildlife, I guess.
It does. Okay, so this is the problem with this, and I'd love somebody to solve this problem for me. This pond has a lot of newts in it, and as a result, it has no frogs. So we get toad spawn, we get frog spawn. None of the tadpoles survive. I think probably because the newts eat them. But we have an awful lot of newts. So this is basically a newt pond, which is fine and lovely and nice to have newts, but it means that there are no frogs. And I think that from what I can work out, it works in a balance. In that you have the newts that are very happy because they have lots of frogs to eat, and the frogs think, sod that, we're not going to go and lay eggs in there any longer. And then the newts begin to die out because they don't have any tadpoles to eat, which means the frogs then get back in again. So it's a sort of, it's the balance of nature. It's the circle of life.
Circle of life. They're all eating each other. But what you want is the frogs to go and eat your slugs and your snails, right?
Well,
or your slugs.
Newts are a bit crap for that.
Yes.
So we'd like more frogs, but you can't choose. I can't get all the newts out just to let the frogs in. That would be the wrong sort of genocide. That's what that is.
I can see a lot of comments coming in here. I might just sort of send them straight over to you rather than filter them myself. But it's just great to have and bird life and
it all comes in. The fact that it's slightly hidden, all sorts of action happens here when we're not looking.
It's completely hidden from the house. You don't see it at all. It's a lovely surprise, I've got to say. And there's the big Paulonia at the back.
Big Paulonia, and then that's a Nashi pear next door to it.
Okay, yeah.
And then this cherry was there before.
Yeah.
For us, and so then we keep going, and we could.
What is that? Is that just a bird cherry?
That's just a bird cherry.
Well, we shouldn't say just a bird cherry.
I mean, it's
Prunus
lovely.
avium.
It's a native cherry.
Yeah, it's lovely white flowers.
it's
It's got
got
cherries on it, not for you, but for the birds again.
Exactly.
Um,
And they sort of come through. So now we're at this point. You have a choice. We can go that way, or we can go this way. Now, that way is compost heaps and crap.
okay.
This way is more garden. So I think we'll go this way. So
let's go
these are
this
these quite fun steel steps that I put in.
Very fun.
Which sort of take you up and through and past the box. We have no box moth caterpillar in this part of the country yet. But what we do have, which is always quite good when kids like this,
Oh, the cherries.
is that the cherries fall down, and then what you do is you turn them into earrings,
Of course.
and you hang them on your ears like that. See?
They go and with
Fetching.
yeah, very fetching.
Fetching. You do it like that, and then we come up, and then this is an acanthus.
Oh no, okay, acanthus. So I wrote about acanthus the other day because I write for the Times, and I wrote about vertical accent plants, and I wrote about acanthus, and some people went, crazy about the acanthus, saying, "Oh, you never ever plant acanthus because it'll take over the world and everything." And for a setting like this, where you want plants that are going to really battle it out,
That's fine. That's perfect.
and it's doing really, and I like them. I really like them.
For me.
Okay.
It works around the bottom. It's quite difficult to find something that's going to grow around the bottom of a cherry tree like
Yeah.
that. And it does it. And look at this flower.
I love them.
Isn't that sensational?
Yeah.
And there's massive, great leaves. And I cut it back down to the ground, sort of, in the late winter, and then it just bounces back and does its thing.
But it's not, and it's not trying to take over the whole garden. It's a lovely view from here, I've got to say. Really lovely shady spot under this tree.
There's a really nice little primula over there.
I can't see it from here. Have I got to? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, the
close up for a little pinky primula that I came from the Isle of Colonsay in Scotland.
You probably stole that as well, don't you?
I didn't steal
From someone else's
it was
garden.
Not stole, it was borrowed.
I mean, this posh lot. They pretend that it's all just sort of in the family and all that, but actually they're going around just stealing everything.
This is the foraging hedge.
Okay.
So there's gooseberries in here and josterberries and sort of ornamental blackberries. You see the flowers of them on there.
Yep.
And then it goes some raspberries, some strawberries even at the moment.
Oh, there's strawberries, yeah.
There's lots of little wild strawberries that scuttle around here and do their stuff. And then there's
raspberries,
wineberry and raspberries.
And another mahonia. I just had that. Oh, that's delicious. That little wild strawberry. And another mahonia, is that soft caress?
That's soft caress.
That's not doing brilliantly, though, is it?
No, it's not brilliant, but it's okay. But my compost heap's nice. Do you want to go look at the compost heaps?
Come on then.
Garden lovers love a compost heap.
We do.
So this is a boysenberry that gets a bit overexcited.
Boysenberry.
And this is compost heap number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Oh, you only brought us up here so we'd be impressed. Did you know we were coming? Because it's all so tidy. And look, you've got an old duvet on that one.
This one's all snugly under here.
An old duvet. Oh, it's like watching Charles Dowding now.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
that's good. You've got your browns and your greens.
There's lots of browns and greens.
Yeah.
And quite sort of gritty stuff. And so it's doing its stuff. It's
a lot of fibrous.
So that's that. And what happens with this?
Yeah.
Is that when this gets filled up here, I'll take that one and put that one into here, and then put that one on top of it, and that'll make the compost for this autumn. So that's that bit. That
was a composting masterclass. Can I just say, because people go on for hours about it, and you just do you have a mix? Is it 50-50 browns and greens, or 60-40?
No, it's whatever comes off the bloody garden. I'm not going to start ferreting it out. What I don't have, because of Cressida, is lots of lawn mowings that get all smushy and disgusting. So this is it's kitchen compost, and it's the tops of plants that have been cut back or dealt with or anything like that.
But because cresses are mulching back into the lawn, which is why your lawn is lovely and green.
Which is it.
It's a little bit like watching Gardener's World, this, isn't it?
It's sort of like that.
Because there was quite a bit of information in that bit.
You see,
I'll be honest with you.
We're good on information. Nobody expects us to give them information, do they? Really?
Well, not you.
Expect us to give
They just want jokes and japes and entertainment.
Well, there we go. And now they're getting information. They all would have turned off. So now we come up through this. So this is all a bit secrety pathway.
I like this bit.
And then you can see the pond is doing its stuff.
Yeah.
There's these gingers that come up and flower a bit later, so it gets quite exotic at times.
What do you call me, Ginger?
Ginger, there's a ginger there, and this plant. You
Oh no! I learnt because the last time I came here, I learnt the name of this plant, but I didn't see it with its seed heads on, which are beautiful as well. So this plant, ladies and gentlemen, is Mollipospermum peloponnesiacum.
Yes.
Have I got it in one?
You got it in one.
It took me a week to learn that.
It's a really cool plant.
It's a very cool plant, and I went to Tom Stewart Smith's Surge Hill project the other day, and they had one, but they killed it.
Hey.
So James, that proves that you're a better gardener
than that bit.
than all of that
They
lot.
have them seeding themselves all over the place, and then it gets a bit wild and crazy in here because I haven't really been in there for a while. So this is an aronia, and then this Frank gave me that tree. That's a Colretaria. So
Oh,
it's
yes.
a good climate change resilient tree.
The limey one.
Yeah, and it's got this sort of pink early leaf to it, and it's going to come up, and so that will be a nice big tree. Butterfly buddleia, butterfly bush beside it, with not very many butterflies.
There's not a lot of butterflies this
Not a lot
year.
of
It's been
butterflies.
very wet.
It's
Been really wet.
that would be the
Oh, we're going around the
So
other
we're gonna
way
come-
to
we're gonna
the...
come and do this bit. Look, there's bindweed here. There's a very fine collection of bindweed
We're going to have letters.
just at this point here.
We're going to have emails, letters, messages. We're going to have a whole lot about bindweed.
Well, it's okay, it's there. You know, you live.
We've all got bindweed.
We've all got bindweed.
Yeah, we have. And
But what's nice about it is that you can dig it up, and I quite like weed and bindweed.
and you're organic.
We are organic.
No spraying going on here.
Spraying or anything, none of that nonsense going on here. So this is the pond from this side,
Really lovely.
which is quite fun. So what you do is when we sit here. Come on.
Yeah, you sit here. I'm going to turn the camera around so that otherwise, because
Sit this way,
I feel like my viewers, they're my viewers by the way. I mean, I know they're watching you all the time,
I know they love
but
you.
I feel like they're missing me, so I'm going to turn it round. But what a lovely
So we're
little
now
spot!
just sitting
And you
here.
come here quite regularly. It's not like we don't really go there much.
No, we do. We come here quite often, and then children. If any children visit the garden, they love this bit. They love coming and sitting here and looking for fish.
A secret
All that kind
garden.
of stuff happens.
I'll bring my character. You could actually sit here with a little fishing rod and pretend to.
You could be a gnome. You'd make a beautiful gnome. You could sit here and pretend to do something at that point.
It's on my list actually. I'm thinking of maybe working on my gnome ship. But the ivy is doing a really glistening. It's bouncing the light around nicely.
This is Latin Hedera arborescens. So it's tree ivy, which means that it doesn't climb. It just sort of creates this mound and becomes a sort of blob. But what it does is it's linking down into the pond quite nicely. It gives places for wildlife to hide
Yeah.
in the water and along the edge of it. You'd imagine that there would be whole families of small creatures living underneath that, being grateful for the shelter from the rain and from the weather and from the predators, and they've got easy access to the water if they need it. I mean, we have grass snakes in here. We have all sorts of
Really?
people lurking around the place. Yeah. There's everything, and you can't quite see, but over there there's a cherry stones that have been eaten on that stone.
Well, because the stones are really great, the way they half in and half out, because bees need to drink.
Correct.
So they need shallow water somewhere where they can stand and drink. Birds would love that as a bird bath. That is actually quite genius. And these are Cleves rocks, are they?
They're Cleves rocks. Although the credit for their positioning should come entirely to me and not to Cleve.
Oh no, Cleve gets no credit at all. And in fact, they're not really his rocks because he didn't actually dig them out of a quarry.
They came from
Did he?
Somewhere. He didn't dig them out himself. Although he did make some really rather nice bird baths out of his rocks. That he's got in his garden that are related to this one. But I like this, the fact that you can come here and you can actually go this one's wobbly, which is always quite fun.
With my niece, Jimmy, have you ever leapt that?
Not from there to there. No, I'm not.
Well, there's always a first time.
I'm not doing that now.
Our viewers, my viewers actually, my viewers would love to see this
Your
attempt.
viewers would love to see me fall.
After 3, 1, 2,
And then we can do a jump cut, and I can land up on that one.
and there he is. Okay, only little negative here
Okay.
is that we are now looking at your alkanet
Yes, we are.
infested mound,
Yeah.
which has been trimmed back.
And looks a bit crap.
And what was that? There was something right there.
There's a bay tree there.
Right there, there was a bay tree.
There was a massive bay tree, but you can see that would have been a big lump. And
Yeah.
We took that out last year.
So have you got any plans for
I think we might, because there's two
For
apple
this.
trees on top of it, and then
Yeah.
a quince to the left.
yeah.
And then there's another paulownia that's never really done anything. So I'm going to take that paulownia out
Yeah.
And then I would like to get another couple of fruit trees and have like a mini orchard on that bank. I think that would be
Okay.
quite fun.
And the wall is a lovely old wall, isn't
The
it?
wall is a nice old wall.
And you built that, didn't you?
Obviously,
You built that like
from
150
scratch.
years ago from
Myself,
scratch.
When I was a child, I built that wall.
But you did start off doing some landscaping, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I built walls before. I built brick walls, I built stone walls, all sorts of jolly things like that. I got taught how to build stone walls by a very old person in Gloucestershire, and he was building a dry stone wall, and I was doing the job there. And I said, "Teach me how to build a dry stone wall."
Ah.
And so we had this pile of stones, and he said, "If you touch a stone, you should put it in the wall, rather than say, oh, not that one, I'm messing it." So he would just go buff, 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 and would know exactly which stone. I wasn't quite as good as that. But it was interesting. He sat there and he had this sort of slightly incongruous thing. And he had a fag hanging out the corner of his mouth. And he was, as I say, quite old. And then he had a New York Knicks baseball cap. so there was this sort of old and new going on. And so he was a war, and he taught me how to build dry stone walls.
That's lovely. It's a shame none of the walls are still standing so we could go and see them.
I know. Well, just didn't last that long.
No, that's really lovely though, isn't it? I mean, because, okay, right, let's, I'm going to reverse the camera again.
We're back. Okay.
So how did you get in to gardening in the first place?
By mistake. It's like all of us, we get into gardening by
No,
mistake.
I didn't get into gardening by mistake, and a lot of gardeners out there didn't get into gardening
Well,
by
I
mistake.
got into gardening by mistake because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and so I left school at 17, and didn't go to university or anything, because nobody really wanted me. And then I did drama school auditions.
You
and didn't
tried to get
that.
into Hull University to do drama. They didn't want him up there. They'd never had a public school boy before, he told me, and they didn't want one. So he was never going to get in.
I was never going to get into that one. Then I sort of fell into landscaping. So I was sort of, laying turf and digging holes and putting up fences and laying bricks. All of that kind of land. The same as you did. All of that kind
And
of stuff.
just
So you
fell
sort of
and loved
learn.
and just loved it.
And I thought, this is quite good. I'm quite good at this. And so I carried on doing it. And then eventually I did a little course, 40 years ago this year.
You actually did a course?
I did
You
10
kept that-
weeks.
Oh, did you?
I did 10 weeks.
You kept that
but
quiet?
The problem with that is that for 6 of them I didn't turn up.
Oh.
Because I was doing some other stuff. And and then so I was landscaping, and then when we had 2 small children, we moved out of London and came to Northamptonshire, where we were before, the house that you've been to before. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try this designing lark. So then I persuaded people that I should design their gardens for them instead of actually building their gardens for them. So I had a bit of moment where I was doing both.
Yeah.
And then I let other people build them, and I designed them.
And there'd been no looking back.
And that's basically.
And now you're
it. And then
designing a
I-
lot of
yeah,
gardens.
Did lots of gardens, and then I started writing stuff, and then I had the misfortune to be on television with you.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
And that was a brief and glorious moment. We had fun.
And you've done lots of stuff. I mean, you're RHS council
RHS
and
stuff.
Chelsea judge and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm a pillar-
Anyway,
pillar of the
I'll be honest with you.
establishment.
Enough about him now.
Let's move more about Joseph.
Yeah, yes.
Look at this dragonfly.
I know. I've seen some dragonflies. There's some beautiful dragonflies.
There's some good
Right,
dragonflies.
my arm's aching again. We're gonna have to move on. Action, James.
So we come out of the sitting bit, and now we're back on here. And so now you can sort of see back towards the house.
Yeah, beautiful
So
house.
that
as well.
works down there. There's some more bindweed in the foreground, which you'll appreciate as we go on that bit. And then what we can do,
So we know we're going to spot the bindweed is unless you keep pointing it out.
this is sort of under development, and there's a squash growing in here, and a dahlia, and this is quite a cool plant. This is called Euonymus cuensis. Very small leaves.
This little thing.
This little thing. And what she's going to do, it grows up into points. So it comes out and it looks like a wave.
Okay.
So that's quite a fun one. I've never grown it before, so we'll see what happens. Do you want to come into the wild walk?
Yes, let's walk wildly.
This is a walk. More bindweed.
Stop pointing at the bindweed. Oh, wow.
Baby blackbird.
Blackbird. This is there's a bit more grass. A few miscanthus.
No, this is Miscanthus transmorrisonensis. Again, with some bindweed. This one doesn't have any bindweed.
Well, you never get just boring miscanthus like Graziella or sinensis or.
We've got some of that over there, but this is fun. Transmorris. Sometimes I buy plants because they got interesting names, which is a good enough.
Well, names that you can remember. You're just showing off,
Yeah.
but we will all remember that you can't remember the name of that oak, and you've been.
The name of the oak. So these are roses I cut back last week,
Okay.
and then so now we're pushing through. So this is a persimmon tree.
And it fruits, right?
It fruits. So it should have some flowers on it soon. It fruits in about Octoberish. And we get persimmons from that.
What do they taste like then, persimmon?
They supposed to taste, they're sort of, you know, there's like these shiny orange things that you cut open and they taste like persimmons, for God's sake. What else do you think it's going to taste like? Just let me say, they taste like, I don't know.
Well,
They taste like quiche Lorraine.
quiche Lorraine. Oh, what, like, oh, okay. Oh, so you got a bit of bacon in them and stuff.
Exactly. So here we are, popping out here.
Oh, James, I've just got to say on the back of your shirt, there's a little bit, because I think going down into that, there's a little bit of mud on your pink shirt. It's going to need a wash.
I'm going to have to launder that.
Oh, now this is another fine specimen.
So this is a fabulous plant. So this is Calicanthus, and the Calicanthus is not the best flower actually.
Oh, that's a nice one.
It's slightly fading, that one.
Well, they're lovely in
look at the
bud. Yeah, lovely in bud.
And then it's actually quite. If you get a leaf and scrunch it,
Yeah.
smell that.
Right. Oh, that's very citrusy.
Yeah, it's because this is the common name for this is Carolina allspice, and so it's got that
Wow.
sort of slightly spicy thing to it. So okay.
There's a lovely flower in there. I'm just going to zoom in on that flower there, or a collection of flowers. That's my arty shot with the light coming through the foliage.
Large, and then you've got quite a nice arty shot through there.
Yeah, we've got an arty shot.
Go back into the Crocosmia hellfire, and then this is quite a cool tree whose name I will say, Tetra. Oh God, I can't remember anything anymore.
Well, I think you're doing pretty well, to be honest.
This one here, I've got the label for. So here we are, label that says. Oh God, I can't.
It says £29.99.
It says Tetra. What's the point of having a label that you can't read the name?
Tetrapanax.
Tetrasendron mense Himalayensis. Anyway, it's quite fun. You see the little red bits on the side. Look, I can do my David Bellamy from here.
Well, the red bits are lovely on the little stalks.
See?
That was good. I actually wasn't even ready for that.
So that comes out. So this is a dead end.
Yeah.
Right? And so the idea at some point in the next year or so, you remember the metal steps we got up there?
Yeah.
Put another set of metal steps that come down here,
Okay.
and then this becomes more
A route.
accessible.
Can we force our way through?
We can force our way. Now we're going to get some roses and some stuff down here. So we probably won't force our way through, but we'll go through there eventually.
So we'll go back.
We'll sort of go back the way that we came, which I mean it's nice coming back this way too.
It's amazing you get lost in your garden. Well, you don't really get lost, but it is a good route or route for my American viewers. Route.
Do you have many Americans?
Yeah, I'm big in South Carolina.
Oh, that's exciting.
Hello. Oh, there was the blackbird again.
I think the people of South Carolina should club together and ask us to come and talk. So this is where my building's going to go.
Yes, we've been designing James's building. I would like a little bit of credit when it goes up for my input.
You want more credit than he's going to get. But this is the building. So that then looks back towards the kitchen, which would be nice, and then looks onto my neighbour's trees.
Yeah, it's lovely. So you're going to keep a sort of open back on it, and it's going to have a core 10 tiled roof.
Which then matches the other core 10 stuff that we've sort of got lurking around the place.
And then we're pretty much back to
And then this is the washing line garden, which has got washing in it, just to prove that that's doing what it's supposed to do.
that is. I'm glad there's no undies up there, because honestly, it's not that kind of show. Look at that. Nice.
And then what we could do is that we could go and look at the green roof. Do you want to go and look at the green roof?
Let's go and look at the green roof.
Okay, well, I'm going to get a ladder.
Okay. Okay, we filled in a risk assessment. We've done all the paperwork. Now, obviously, do not do this at home. James does it. It's his house, and he's insured me for this.
It's a bit wobbly.
Don't say that. It's a bit wobbly. I wish I had my selfie stick. Or maybe I should actually stick this camera right on my head like a head torch. Look at this. Look at this. Fabulous. And this is where I stayed. And that's my bedroom in there. And we were looking out onto this morning.
Yeah, where there were pigeons having sex.
They were very noisily having sex. Okay, so the water obviously is to
So
for the birds.
we put this extension on, And you think, okay, what are you going to make the roof out of? And it would have been metal or slate or asphalt or something. And we thought, no, we can do better than that. So this is sedum. This is a sedum roof, which pretty much looked after itself. And you top it up every so often. And then this year I thought, okay, I went to see John Little.
I've seen these gravel mounds out of the window. I was wondering what they were.
So I went to see John Little, and he was growing stuff in gravel and things. So I put these gravel mounds in the hope that maybe some insect would like it or would plant something else into it. I thought, well, we better put some water here if we're going to try and bring, because bees come to this anyway.
Yeah.
So we've now got water, this sort of metal bowl with some rocks in it, just so that there's something to sit on there. And then the gravel mounds will become either a different sort of planting thing or a habitat for some insect, or I don't know. We'll
Okay, so they're not going to be spread out. They're just little mounds, and you're going to see what turns up. They look very new.
They are quite new. I've just done them. So if I was an insect, then I'd be flying around here.
Not too near the edge, Jimmy.
And then I would go, shoom, and then go and live in there.
Yeah.
Or I'll find a plant that likes growing in gravel and plant that in there. So it just adds an extra little extra whatever. And from here, you can see that.
It's great. We've just put some sedum roof in on a job which used to be a gym, and it had an astroturf. There are other products available, a sort of fake grass roof, and it just went down and it's flowering and it needs zero maintenance really.
Thank you. I reckon that I do 15 minutes maintenance up here a year.
15, yeah, okay. I think that's probably 10 minutes too much.
It probably is. But the sun's gone in. But that's that, and then over here on this side.
Oh yeah, I think we're not going to go down there because honestly my arms are now aching, but I'm just going, we can talk to it. We've got a great vantage point to talk about whether there's some chickens in there.
There's chickens.
I had scrambled eggs from those chickens this morning.
There are 4 chickens, and they're all called Vanessa.
Keeps it nice and easy.
Which keeps it nice and simple. So
and there's a greenhouse. Celestia is often in the greenhouse.
And this is all her vegetables, and that's her bean arch. We made this bean arch out of rebar, you know, that reinforcing mesh for concrete.
Yeah.
So that's 4 bits of reinforcing mesh that are bent together and then tied. So that makes this rather wonderful bean arch. And then there's poppies, and then there's a fruit cage, got raspberries and black currants and stuff in it there. And then there's squash and courgettes and corn and other stuff, other eating stuff that runs around in that place.
They're called vegetables.
Yeah, vegetables.
It's vegetables.
That's the word I'm looking for. I didn't quite get that.
Oh, Jimmy, this has been fantastic.
And then there's my big ball.
Oh yes, the big ball. So what? So that actually, I like it. It's very sculptural. It's a beautiful thing. But tell us about your big ball.
I've only got one big one. The other one's a normal size. It was basically because it's underneath the birch, and it's quite difficult to get things to grow underneath the birch. And you're looking at it from here, and what you don't know is that the majority of the plants underneath that birch are actually a ground elder. But it's green and it covers it, and it's quite difficult. It's something decent to grow there. So we thought we need something sculptural. And I didn't want to have, you know, what are the options? You can have a statue of me, you know, looking like Napoleon, like that, or that kind of stuff, or, or a nude Joe Swift or something. And we thought,
that's an idea.
We're going to have this, and that's basically made by. Do we do product endorsements?
Oh, definitely.
Capital Garden Products. It's
Okay.
made of fiberglass.
So it's fiberglass. So
light.
it's not. Oh, right.
It looks as if it's made of steel, because we have this sort of Corten steel thing running the whole way through the garden with the steps and the wall by the compost heap, which we didn't really look at, but there is a
We
Corten
did look
wall
at the
there.
compost heap.
No, but we didn't look at the Corten.
We had a whole
wall there.
composting masterclass.
Yeah, but there's a Corten wall there as well, which I sort of, you might have seen it en passant, and so that sort of fits in with that, and it sits there and it goes well with the box ball that's there and the hedge.
It's great. It really, it's oversized, and I think people when they put sculpture in a garden, it's always too small. It's poorly sited often. And that's right in the flower bed, and you know from all over the garden you spot it. And it's not steel. It's just fiberglass, and you can. Is it a complete ball? Can you roll it around?
You can roll it around. In
So
fact,
you could move
There is
it.
a stick up its jacksie to stop it rolling around in the high winds.
Oh right, really? When it catches the
When it
wind.
gets up, and so it does that. And then from here also you can see the other green roof over there.
Ah,
So
yeah.
that's where we have a slightly wilder green roof going on, but that's got
That's
solar
solar.
power on it. That's the solar panels.
That's got your
They
solar on
sort
it.
of disappear. You know, people think that solar panels are ugly, but actually they just vanish.
Yeah, they're really shallow in it. Buckets. And that used to have a complete green roof, and then we've got your climbing up the sweet peas. We got your sweet
there.
peas.
And then the hedge that I haven't cut for you, which
Yeah,
is quite angular.
yeah, I know. I
and
like that.
Modernistic.
It's nice. And then you can see from here where I've designed your
Where
roof,
my building will
where
be.
the building's going to be over that area there for a nice little covered area, and we get a nice big wide of your fabulous garden. James Alexander Sinclair, I would just
Go
like
Swift.
I would just like to thank you from all the garden lovers
Ah, the garden lovers,
who
the
watch
lovers of gardens.
Joe's Country Garden.
Okay, well, this is James's Country Garden, the sequel to Joe's Country Garden, or the prequel.
Well,
Actually,
I like to think that they're sort of in parallel. You're years ahead of me, but you've shown me what can be done in a relatively short period of time.
very short space of time.
And it's looking absolutely beautiful, full of stolen plants mainly. But thank you so much. I think people are going to find this really interesting, and you keep gardening fun, lively, interesting.
You should have quite
I'm trying to
now.
and anyway, thank you, James. We're going to go and have a lie down. Well, he is anyway.